The Hollyland Lark Max is probably the best new budget wireless microphone system in the $300 range. Let's dive in and find out why. So, for starters, the Hollyland system has wonderful packaging. I was a little bit too impatient and forgot to record the unboxing process, but I will say the build quality on this is phenomenal. I've had the Rode in my hands, and I will say this probably outperforms that. I've yet to try the DJI or any of the other ones on the market, like the Anchor, but it's definitely solid. From the case, the charging case that it comes in, to the microphone pods themselves, to the system that connects to the camera, everything feels great, solid. It does come with magnets. I will say, from the testing that we've done, which I'm going to show you here in a few, it is a 2.4 gigahertz system. So while it's great line of sight, if you turn your back to it, you do lose a little bit of range. And that could be a determining factor for some people, but for me and my uses for this system, I think it's going to be great. Let's go ahead and go over to the work table, and I'll show you what everything looks like and everything that comes in the packaging.
So first things first, here we have the nice little plastic case that it comes in. Zipper, and it's got like a wristlet clip. Little zipper spot inside. That's going to come with your 3.5 millimeter jack, your USB-C to Lightning, a USB-C to USB-C, your wind muff for one of your microphones, and there's actually two of those in there. All right, this is the charging case. It's got a nice solid build quality to it. When you first pop it open, it's going to stay off. Click the button, and it's going to show your battery percentage. Little clip there that fits perfectly inside of a hot shoe. And you can see there's a little bit of a textured finish to it. Everything feels solid, nice. And this is the microphone capsule. Same finish to it. You can see it was kind of pairing there. There's the magnet on the back, and I will say these magnets are nice and solid. There's also the clip. You have a power button, a active noise cancellation, and a internal recording button, as well as a 3.5 millimeter jack to connect a lavalier. And there's also direct USB-C charging on there. Pop them all back in the case. It's going to give you indicator lights that they are in there and that they are charging. And then there are 4 indicator lights just to show that the case is fully charged as well.
All right, so now that we've checked out what's in the packaging and all of that fun stuff, let's go ahead and take it out to the field and see how it actually holds up. What is up, y'all? So we are here at Friendship Hill National Historic Park, and we're going to just test out the range on this Hollyland Lark Max. So I've got Jen here helping me. Say hi, Jen.
Hi.
We are going to be utilizing the R6. I'm going to be taking it with me, and we have just this little Go mic on it. So the Hollyland Lark Max is on the Canon R5, and basically just going to walk as far as it takes. And Jen is going to let me know whenever we hit a spot that we stop picking up. So I have the Lark Max here magnetized to my chest, and I'm going to start walking. Okay, so I am walking and I am talking, and I'm keeping my voice kind of at like a mild.
So right about here, we're going to convert over to voiceover. And if you'll notice, we still have some audio, but it's intermittent and we're starting to lose enough to make it not usable. Now, if you do turn on your internal recording, that's not going to be an issue. And you'll see here in a second, as we turn around and face, you'll pick back up.
Is Miss Jennifer right there. Now we are on a 24.
So as stated, we're on a 24 to 105, so you can see the distance that we were able to cover and pick back up. But as soon as we turn around, we lose it again.
I believe at a certain point that we are going to have to face towards and have like a direct line of communication.
And as we're figuring out, that point is right now while we're reviewing the footage. So what I'm going to say is the quality is still good. It's still picking up. And we're going to turn around here in a second and see right here
backwards
that I was able to get audio back. And the quality is the same as it was up close. The problem is if we're not in direct line of sight during these situations, we have nothing. So is it usable? Absolutely. Again, that internal recorder is going to be a big help in these situations. And I don't even think you can see her zoomed out to 24 millimeters, but she is right there, that tiny little dot right in the middle of those trees. And that is where we lost. So I'm gonna say, let's say the range on these is pretty damn good. I'm impressed. So here's use case scenario on this. I don't ever plan on being this far away from my camera and losing out on the audio. And if you can't tell, my arm's getting a little bit tired. I don't carry around a 24-105 on an R6 with a cage very often, all the way with my arm extended. But yeah, use case. So I think these are going to be a like absolute must-have for weddings for me. We are trying to branch into the travel wedding thing, and I think just using these to mic up and be able to shoot a wedding from a cam, leave it rolling, have audio collect from the bride and groom, and then use a small like Rode mic or the Rode Video Mic Pro as my B-cam microphone. Another place we're going to make use of these is we're starting a podcast. So the podcast we're planning on doing is going to be vulgar animal facts. And the reason why we're doing this is a lot of the animal fact podcasts, or just animal podcasts in general, while we love all of them, they are very mellow, very relaxing, and I'm gonna be honest, I just want people super hype about learning about animals. So our first one is gonna be the beaver, the American beaver specifically, and it's one of our favorite animals. It's one that we've spent a good bit of time with in person, and this is where the cool part comes in, is we are doing this podcast on site. So as we learn about these animals, there's going to be a chance to see them as well. And what that's going to mean for you guys is while you're watching, we're going to be watching for them. And we're going to be taking care of, reading you the animal facts, telling you about it. But you also might get glimpses of each animal, because we do a lot of wildlife photography and we know where most of them are. So touching back on the beaver, our first episode is going to be the American beaver, and we are going to be on the river located at a safe distance from a known beaver den, somewhere that we've watched them raise their young, build up their dam, or lodge rather, and have spent quite a bit of time with them. So just some cool fun facts and little things that we got going on here at the Grand Media team. And we have made it back to Miss Jennifer. Say hi, Miss Jennifer. Great job working the R5. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna review the footage. Oh, we have a deer.
You got a fawn with her?
Hi, dear. She also has a little fawn with her.
Watching you. Come across. I like it a little bit.
So anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program. So we're gonna review the footage. She's gonna help me. And we're gonna put this in. I added on DaVinci Resolve, so whatever. And we will split the difference of this little microphone that I have on the R6 and
Lark Max that we have running on the R5. Any cuts that I have to make from camera to camera, I will make it known. We got a hell of a lot more range than what I was expecting, to be honest. Our next test, what we're going to move on to, is how it handles obstacles. So we're actually going to go into the woods, and I'm going to run zigzag patterns like a crocodile, and we're going to see how much it cuts out, where it cuts out, and what kind of distance I can get. So come with us.
Am I tall enough? It doesn't feel.
All right, so we are here at a different section of the park, and Miss Jennifer here decided that she wants to run away in zigzag patterns like she's escaping a crocodile. So I'm going to take over manning the R5 and stand behind. I still have my mic on, so I'm going to turn it off, and we are going to leave noise cancellation on for the time being, and then we might run another segment with it off just to have kind of a comparison. So she's going to go ahead and take off into the distance, and I'm going to monitor audio levels and yell for her.
The Crocs in 4-wheel drive.
Let her put the Crocs in 4-wheel drive first.
Bye.
And I do believe she is going for a full wind sprint, so.
We're gonna go see if we can find this bullfrog party. It's somewhere back here in the woods. There's a tiny
I'm
little
powering
lake.
my mic off now.
We can also say that this magnet is very much doing its job, so that my mic is staying where it needs to be, even though I'm running.
So right about here is where we start losing Jen, and as you can see, zoomed in, she's got a pretty good distance away. There's a lot of obstacles in place, albeit not solid objects, but still things that are in the way. And her audio is still picking up, kind of spotty here and there, but not enough, again, to be anything usable. She did cover a good distance, and at this point, I'm turning off my microphone, and we have removed the noise cancellation, which was why you could hear her footsteps and her running and everything. I'm not going to run that through a voice isolation or a dialogue leveler in post or anything like that, just so you can hear what that sounds like. And then right about here, we start to get her back. So this is what we were kind of filtering through. And looks like she got a decent way. I don't know if you can see her quite yet. But
should we hide from him?
there she is. So it looks like we're picking her back up and everything now. How far'd you get?
Down around the corner.
Nice. So she got down around that corner down there, which with some obstacles on there, I would say that's pretty decent. We're gonna take it back.
All right, so back from the field tests, and I gotta say, what looked to be very good on the camera from the audio levels and all of that, now that I'm reviewing the footage, it's not as great as I thought it was. So still very good, still a decent range on it. The thing that I'm noticing is if you're not in like direct line of sight, it can be spotty. So in the first test you saw with me just walking away, we lost it fairly quickly. However, with Jen running through the woods, I think it fared pretty well. So maybe some consistency issues or just not as good as we thought it was going to be without direct line of sight. Still think it's going to function really well. I still think the audio quality is very good on it. So does anyone have the DJI mics? If so, let me know if they've experienced anything similar. I've heard the Rode mics can be kind of hit or miss as well as the anchors, and I think the most notable contender between the Hollyland is the DJI. So if anyone has experience with the DJI mics, let me know. We may be going ahead and grabbing a set of those and putting these two head to head. So some key points that I want to touch on. 14 hours of storage on board each mic. That's great. Pretty substantial battery life. From what we're seeing, it's about 7.5 hours, which is probably the longest on the market right now in this kind of budget range. Great quality, great equalizers that are preset in there, decent range. So, what are your thoughts on these? Does anyone have them and would like to chime in and let me know maybe if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm not testing these adequately? I still think they're going to be great for weddings and for the podcast that we're looking at doing and everything. But chime in, drop a comment, let me know. And if you don't mind, go ahead and like or dislike the video if you like or dislike it. And hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We're going to be back with more of these. And pretty much every piece of gear that I start acquiring for weddings, for the podcast, for any of my creative stuff, we're going to start reviewing these. So jump on board now while you can.